which is a useful tool to just say which size you want to have the image, crop it. Very useful, but if you create a new image for the media section or something, the crop doesn't get created automatically, which can be a problem because sometimes in XLT or in Razor you assume that an image is available, and sometimes it isn't. So what I did, I created some events for the image cropper. If you install DAMP 2.0, these events will be on by default, and if you create a new image which has crops from the image cropper, those images will also be, the crops will also be created automatically. So it will ensure that you will always have the crops which you need, which make the image cropper a lot more useful. Besides having it on the installer, it's also a helper method. So let's just say you have your own events, and then you can also just say damp helper, call image cropper, and there you have it, the image is created. And here this is actually an after save or before save event in which I do this, because then the crop gets created before the XML is generated, so the crop will also be available in the generated XML from the media type. I use the image cropper a lot, but I don't. Let's just say this. I want to have one media type. I don't want to have one media type which has a lot of crops. So I sometimes see people create one data type image cropper. They add 10 crops to it or something, and they only use that data type. But then you'll probably only use one of those 10 crops. So what I want is to have lots of media types, and each media type only has the crop it needs. I'm gonna show that now. Let me go to a custom media type. One thing, Umbraco doesn't have base media types, so the media types you see here are all practically the same, with one difference, and that's that they have each their own unique crop, only the ones that it needs. For example, if I go to the image overview, it has some custom properties. Let me explain the resized one. If you use the image cropper and you upload a 5 megapixel image, then that's the image you need to crop on. If you load it in the backend, it's a very large image you have to work with. So what I do before I'm going to use the image cropper, I resize the image, which is just a little code here. If someone wants it, I can share it. But that just makes sure that the image which gets uploaded first gets resized, and that resized image is being used for cropping. Yeah, so here we have the image overview media type. It has all the default fields, Umbraco file and everything, but it also has a specific crop, the overview crop. And that's a crop which only has one crop which it needs. I also created a special folder, and in the structure I say that only image overview here is allowed, and I'm going to explain later why that's a good thing to do. Let's see. Oh, just a little trick that I created. Because there are no base media types, each time you want to create a custom media type, you have to create all those fields, and actually all the fields are the same. It's just I can't have a base media type, so I need to enter all those files again, or the names. And so here's a little dashboard. It's very hacky, but I just give it a name. I give it some IDs. My name. If I create this, nothing happens. and it's really a simple thing I created for myself. But if I go back to my media types, reload, then here is an image sample which already has all the properties, so you don't have to create those yourself. Very simple thing, but it just makes creating all those custom media types a little bit simpler. Let's see. Okay, now I'm going to show actually the crop data type itself. So here is the crop image cropper data type. As you can see, in this case, it only has two specific crops, the ones that I need for my overview image media type. And if I go to a slider crop, it has a different crop, different sizes and everything. So I split that up in different data types. This data type is used again on my DEMP data type. So here's actually what DEMP is. It's only a data type, and it has many options. In this case, I say I want to store all of the XML. So instead of, if you select a media item, it won't store the ID. No. Instead of using it, it will do the same as library.getMedia, but it will store that XML already in the umbraco.config file. Here I say I want to have a start node. The start node needs to be, I can pick one. I can also use an XPath for it. I'll show an example later. Some allowed extensions, like, okay, I don't want Photoshop images to be uploaded. Here comes the allowed media types. Each media picker I create, I only need one media type. So here I say, okay, if I want to select media types, only the overview image, which has only the overview crop, and the same with creating actually. There's also a create dialog in DEMP, and here I say if you open that create dialog, the default image you can create is image overview. In this case, I only want one image to be selected, not multiple. And here's another neat thing. Here I can say, when I use DEMP to select images, it shows thumbnails. But in this case, I'm going to use a crop on my website. So would it not be cool if that crop is also showed in the thumbnail? That's what you can do here. You can say, okay, you have the image cropper and the crop name actually. In this case, both of them are overview, and if I use this, when using my media picker, it actually shows the crops itself. Here's some more configuration stuff. We're not going to do that now. So now I can finally show some things you can do with them. Let me first demo the website, simple website, and it has some overview images. And here it has another image which I added for the demo. If I click on one of the images, I get a small photo gallery. But these images have to be cropped. You know, I want to have a specific size for them, and each has to fit in that size. So what I did is, when all the things I just showed come together, here's an overview image, and you can just choose the image that you want. And the image that you show here is already the cropped image. So, for example, if I want to crop this image, as you can see, only the crops which I needed are shown here. If I just make this a bit smaller, the crop is also displayed here. And if I refresh this, it's also displayed here. So the user can only choose one crop, or in this case 2 crops, only the ones that he needs, and those are the ones which are displayed in the back office and which are displayed in the front end. So in my opinion, that's very user-friendly, because he only sees what he needs to see. He doesn't need to see those other crops. Yes.
One of the reasons we use multiple crops on the image type is for multiple uploads. Can you work with multiple uploads with this system? You can't apply.
Yeah, yes, you can. But I created a modified version for it. But I'll demo it later, and I can share it with you. Let me see. I wanted to demo some more stuff. You also have a photo gallery. Now let's say I want to add an extra image. I already have that one. You can drag and drop them. And let me not save it yet. I'm going to display it now. So here we have the full image. Now let me edit this image, and I only want to show the tree. You can see it here. Save. And you can see that it's also here, only the thumbnail and the image itself are the tree that I want to display. So again, only the stuff the user wants to see is the stuff that, which he can configure. One thing you can do is you can also have multiple crops on one image. I actually did that with the thing I've been demoing the whole time. Because the overview crop also has a right crop, which can be displayed here. Which is just an example, but it's the same image which I used here. And as you can see, I created special damp. I'll just show it. I created a damp overview which shows the crop of the overview, and I used the overview white. A different data type, which I configured that it needs to use the white crop. So here the image. So this is the image which is used here, and the same image is used here, but it also shows the crop which I'm using. So if I update this crop, this gets updated here, and if I update this crop, it gets updated here, and if I refresh the page, the crop I just created on the project is here, and the other one is here, but for the user, only the image which he needs or which he wants to show is displayed here. So this is the same image, but with two different crops, two different data types, and it still shows different things. Now we come to the multiple file upload. That's also one of the reasons why I created custom folders, because let me just show it. Here we have the slider, we have an upload data type, and in the modified version I created, you can actually choose a media type. And the media type you can choose is based on the structure you created. And as I already showed before, this is a special folder media type which only has a structured image slider in this case. So that's the image which I can create. Let me go to media. I'm going to add two files. Upload those. Now, as you can see here, they're added, but if I open these files, because of the events I created, the slider crop is directly available, even if I use the multiple file upload. So by combining all of these things together, the image cropper, the multiple file upload, and damp, it's very easy to upload images. The crops are directly available, and if I now go to this slider, the user gets to see directly the images which are cropped, which are uploaded. Again, very user-friendly. He only sees what he needs and in the correct format. Let's see. There's another thing. Sometimes you add crops later, and I'm going to demo that now. Overview crop. So now I have a wide one. I also want to have a long one, which is and let's just say its position is right bottom. Okay, so now I created long crop. So I'll just change my overview to long crop. Let's see if that works. It doesn't, because the media, I just added an extra crop to the data type, but when I do that, nothing happens, so the new crop isn't created yet. And besides them, I created a different package called Create Crops, which can actually solve that. And we're going to open file now. Here it is. So you see the overview, the wide crop, but long crop isn't there yet. Now, I haven't tested it yet, so let's hope it works. I press the Create Crops button. This will take a while because now it's going through all the media items and it will create all the crops for it. As I said, it can really take a while. Just waiting. There it is. All the crops are created successfully. And there you have it, the long crop. So if I refresh this now, please work. There it is. So it's just an extra package I created, you know. The image cropper has its limitations that it doesn't create crops automatically, but in combination with them, where the crops are created on upload, and the create crops, just in case you need crops which aren't, when you need extra crops, combine those packages and you can always use the image cropper and it will always ensure that everything is available. One more example, almost there. Let's just say with the start node, I have multiple websites in my Umbraco environment, and I also have multiple media sections. So website 2 has its own media section and website 3 as well. This can be a problem with start nodes because you have to select one node, but that's why I created the XPath option. See, temp website. Here I just say, okay, this XPath goes down through all the folder media types, and with node name folder 1 will be displayed. So as you can see here, folder 1 has these two images, and here it has two different images. So I'm going to log in to website 2. As you can see, the start node is the folder 1 from website 2 with these two images. Now as website 3, I get a different folder. I still have my own. I still have a start node, but it's the start node of a different node actually, because we're in a different section. We're in a different website. So even that's possible. So in summary, you have to configure a lot. You know, I know that you need to create a lot of media types, a lot of crops, a lot of damp data types. But eventually, when all that comes together, the user has a great user experience because he only works with the stuff which he needs. He doesn't want to have a slider crop on an overview because he's not going to use it for that. So now in this situation he won't see it. So that was my presentation. Now. Yeah.
And on the fly.
Super.
Second presentation.
Second presentation.
Sorry, just quick, can I ask you one thing?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
sure.
Can you ask the guy that's done the drag and drop the new components to get it to work with your damp? Because apparently if you keep dragging it in, if you've specified in damp to limit the numbers,
yeah,
drag and drop will override that. Can you ask him to fix it?
I don't think that the drag, it's even not fixed for the multi-node tree picker. It doesn't work anywhere. To be honest, I just disabled the drag and drop in new components, so to be sure that you just use them, because that's what it's for. It has its start node, it only shows the images that you want to show, so don't use it.
Okay, thank you, Jeroen. We in Holland we make a lot of packages. Yeah, we came from Holland, so we wanted to show some packages. The package I want to present is Mediaprotect. Yeah, it's a famous quote: "Protecting media has never been easier" in Umbraco. Why Mediaprotect? Yeah. If you're a customer, you don't want confidential information being leaked through the website, or if you're an implementation partner, you don't want to be in the news. By default, Umbraco only protects content. Well, Google can find it. Just search for confidential and PDF, and you get a whole lot of documents. People can also get file names, like for instance, annual report 2010 replaced by 2011, and it will show up. Okay, Mediaprotect can help you with that. It's got a few features. These are basically all the features. The best feature is that it protects media on the same simple way you protect content. It uses the normal membership provider. So if any ASP.NET membership provider can work with the Mediaprotect. You can log protected downloads, so you can create reports who downloaded it. It comes with an easy-to-use library, so you can use it in XLT, Razor, .NET controls. And it's easy to extend using events. So this is basically all the PowerPoint. A quick demo. So, in this environment I have already installed Mediaprotect. I assume you've all seen the installer before, today I guess also. So, when I go to the media section and I open my protected folder, protected file, and when I want to browse it, it just shows me my protected PDF. Here it is. So, we don't want that. And that's why I can choose the option now, the same as in content, public access. And this opens the same dialog, only with a different title, to protect your media items. So I can choose role-based protection. Select the roles. Same as in content. Choose the login page. Choose an error page. It's for if you're not in the correct role. And when I update it now, you see the protected icon over here. So it's the same as in content. And when I try to access the file directly, it will redirect me to the login page instead of opening the PDF directly. So, and when I log in as a normal user, it opens the PDF. Okay. So here it is again. And one thing I always forget is to log out for my next demo. So I should do that now. This not only works with media, but it also works if you protect a content item. So I want to protect the Go Further page. Add role-based protection again. Boring every time the login in the not authorized page, but somebody has to do it. Update. Okay, so now my content item is protected. My content page. And when I upload the protected file to this one, to this piece of content, I'll say it close. So now this piece of content is protected by Umbraco, but it will also protect this media item that's uploaded on the content page. Another thing is if you want to pick a protected content item, you want to see which items are protected and which not. So when I'm a content editor and I go to the Media Picker, and I open it, I can select a protected item. So you see immediately that the item is protected. Here I can select the protect file, of course. So now I've chosen this item, and when I go to my website, you see it still, I'm not logged in, so when I click on this link, it will redirect me to the login page again, because I'm not authorized. As I mentioned in the PowerPoint, it comes with a simple library. Could have opened Visual Studio before. I'm using Razor to display this item, the media item. And the only thing I need to do, let me get that one a bit bigger. Okay, so now it's just displaying the item. And what I want to do is check against the Mediaprotect library if it has access. So I've coded that up front because you don't want to see me live coding. So now basically the only thing I do is ask if the current logged in user has access to the media item. We can specify the ID path, but we can also specify a complete file name, and then the Mediaprotect will take care of it. So when I save this item, and I go to the website again, now it's gone, and when I log in, page, you'll see that the link is being displayed because now I have access. And I can also, so it's basically the same library as Umbraco uses. So if you're familiar with that one, you can use this one as well. But now I've covered all the features of the default implementation of Mediaprotect. The only thing that's also in the Mediaprotect is in here. In my solution, in my website, I have a custom protected folders file. Try to find it here. Protected files and custom protection.pdf. So when I open this one, I'm logged out as a user. Custom protection, I can still open it. Mediaprotect comes with the library, and in the library you also got events. So you've got a requesting event and a requested event. Requesting event will be called every single time you try to access a page. And then you can intercept the event and you can cancel the event and then redirect the user to the login page. So it sounds a bit silly, but here we've got that. So it's nothing more than all the other events you use in Umbraco. You derive from application base. So when you use an event in Umbraco, you always derive from application base. Then the constructor will be called, And here I have the file requesting event from Mediaprotect. And so for every file that's being requested, we can check if it's a request to the protected files. And if it's in the protected files and the user is not logged in, we cancel the event and we redirect the user to the login page. Oh, I don't have to need to build it, because it's a website project. But we do, let's reset. Just to make sure the application base is being picked up. Okay. Let me see how. Could go wrong. Application tools recycled, so it should be picked up. And as you can see, now I can't access it directly anymore. It just goes to the login page again. So that's yeah, very powerful if you use events. And that's basically what Mediaprotect does. Mediaprotect is not free. It's a commercial package. You have a domain license per domain. Server, you can buy it for a whole server. And if you don't want to have any licensing issues anymore after a single purchase, you can buy an unlimited license, and that you can deploy that for every customer you have, even if it's not on your own server. So thank you. You can always download the trial. It's fully functional on localhost. So it's only you can all the things I just showed you, you can use on the local host, but you can't deploy it on the server. Thank you very much.
Now, we still got some time left, so if it's okay, I'm just want to demo a little screencast I recorded, just to show some more features of DAMP for everyone who's interested.
If you have any questions, by the way, just ask it.
It's not very clear, but it should work. This is just a demo how to install DAMP 2.0 together with some samples. The movie speaks for itself. So first you just install DAMP 2.0. As you can see, the crops are created. Those settings I just talked about were on by default. I also created a samples page to get started with DAMP 2.0, because what I just showed was a lot. So this package creates a lot of things for you: data types, macros, even custom media types, all in one package, so it's easy to get started with. Now this takes a while to install. Once it's installed, all you have to do is click here, and we have a new node with predefined DAMP stuff, just some things you can play with. It also comes with a Razor and XSLT sample, just to display things and show all the different ways that can be used. You can see you can just download files. It also demos some more stuff you can do with DAMP. It's easy to, you can just choose images with it, you can also choose files with it. This one is set to only select one image. You can show the selected image. Let's just create a new media item. Also, this one is also only allowed to select one image, but creating also goes really easy. As you can see here, the media type is not image, but image wide, because it's a custom media type. All comes with the package. You can also create it. The image gets cropped automatically. That you see that crop. Also size stuff. Something should draw already in my demo. As you can see, the things I just changed are all visible here. The cropped image is there, new image in XSLT, it looks exactly the same. Now, there's another thing you can do. You can just select one image. It's also possible to select multiple images. So first I just remove a few images, go to choose again, select multiple images at the same time. So that's also possible. One of the things I've also added is Pixlr support. So it's kind of a Photoshop, but you can edit images from inside Umbraco. Let's give it a nice color. Again, this is a cropped image, and when saving it back, the new image gets cropped because of the save event. You get to display it here. So also the crop has been changed by this. Show the page one final time. You can see, refresh, that you can also show the cropped image which you added with Pixlr. That was this movie, if I'm correct. Just one small movie. Hope it's not too boring. Because DAMP is open for collaboration, and I'm not the only one working on it currently. Tom Fulton is also working on it, and after DAMP 2.0 I thought it was done, but here's a new feature he's been working on, and it's actually pretty cool. You can select some images, but you see a caption, and it's a short movie. If you enter a caption here, so it's a custom property added to the media type, and even that custom property can be displayed on your picker. And the way he created it, none of this is mine. The way he created it is actually very cool, because an actual property is available. XSLT, you still need it. But in the XSLT file, you have your current media item, so you can actually write an XSLT file, change that, and the XSLT file can be displayed in your picker. So now, as you can see, first it was red, now it's blue. Quick demo, but you can even display custom properties, which is a nice new feature, I think. Okay, that was it.
Sorry, I've got lots of questions on this because we use your DAMP a lot.
Yeah.
The Photoshop element, is that saving over the original file, or is it?
Yes, it's saving over the original file.
Okay, great.
Any more questions? Okay.